Hey tubers, how you doing? Hey, I'm just doing a little quick impromptu video here. Just wanted to share this with some of you. I'm working on a leather sheath right now for a Renegade, and this is going to be Peter B. I'm going to meet up with Peter later this summer, and I'm going to deliver him his knife, and we're going to do a little video on that, so keep an eye out for it. But this little video is going to fall under the Knife Making 101 playlist, and this is for the guys that want to make sheaths, leather sheaths. I've made a few in the past. I've actually made more than I've sold because learning leather on your own is a very, very daunting task. And I don't care how much YouTube you watch. It's leather working is based on a couple of things. One, it's your budget. Number two, it's your patience. And number three, it's your capabilities. Now, as I've always mentioned in the past, not everybody is capable of doing everything. That's why people do certain things and others don't. That's just the way it is. So don't feel bad if you can't do it. I struggle with leather once in a while, but when it falls all into place, man, I am so happy. But if you've noticed, I've done some leather in the past, some sheaths with a special stitch. I call it a chain stitch. I'm not really sure of the name. I've had several people on sheath making venues call it a couple of different things. I call it a chain stitch simply because it looks like a chain when you're done. But I'm doing one right now, and I thought I'd pull the phone out. My camera's up at the house. I brought it up there. I was doing some filming and some editing, and so I had the phone here, and I didn't want to stop to go up and get it, so I just wanted to share this with you real quick. So this is what I got going on right now. Okay, so here's Peter's sheath. Now, don't worry about the dye. It's not completed. I still have to do a lot of other things with it, but it's the stitching that I wanted to bring your attention to. Sorry if this, I think the lighting back here is droning you out, but this chain stitch right here, it's really cool. I use, actually, there's 4 individual strands here. You'll see this. You know, there's 2 dark right here. This is the end of each side. Here's the cream, and here's the other cream. So there's 2 threads, but you're working with 4 ends and 4 needles. And this is what it looks like as you start doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you real quick what it looks like as I'm doing it to give you an idea. Okay, so hopefully the camera will function properly, and this angle is going to help you. And it's not going to focus back there. It's going to focus up here more. So ultimately, I already started it, but I just wanted to show you what this looks like. And what I'm doing is, after I've already got my holes and everything done, I'm coming in through the back side of the sheath, and I'm coming out the front of it with the first strand. And I pull it out. It's, you know, it's always kind of snug. Sometimes I use a set of needle nose pliers, something similar to this, to actually pull the needle through. But so far, so good. Now what I do is I just bring this front strand that came out above. I'm going to go ahead and push it back through where the needle that you just saw came through, so the bottom. So at this point, I have 2 threads going through the same hole. This is where it gets a little tight sometimes, is trying to fit a second thread through the hole. So what I have here now is I got that little bit of loop. What's nice about this Romanoff stitching pony is there's little tiny magnets here that hold onto your needle, so I can let go of the needle right now. Now, as for this beige thread that you see here and here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this first end through here, and you want to make sure you don't get any snags or anything like that. Then I'm going to take the second strand, and I'm going to go over, well, if you can see how that's going to lay out like that, I'm going to go over the top of that one, and I'm going to go through this end. So I'm feeding it back and forth. I'm weaving it back and forth, just like this. So then I'm going to draw that thread in the back here, this one. I'm going to pull it out that way and towards me this way, and I'm going to tighten that up, and then you're going to use the blonde strands here just to kind of clean things up a little bit and make sure you have a nice looking thread. You want to clean that up a little bit, do that, and there you go. Generator in the background, there we go. So we'll do this once again. So the thread that's back here is going to come forward to the face of the sheath, come through. Now the thread that came through last time is going to, get that thread out of the way. This one here is going to come in, and I'm just going to lift this thread up because I'm going underneath it right here, just like that. Now granted, the welt in this sheath has been glued, and everything's kind of secured that way. So now as you see, this is that strand that just came through. I'm going to leave that little bit of a loop like that, just small enough to weave my needles through. So again, the right side thread is going to go through, and I'm going to bring it around that way. Then the left side needle is going to come across it, go across the front of it, and you want to stay consistent so you have an even weave and even chain. And then as I bring that second one in, I'm just going to bring that down, and there we go. There we have it. So hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, it's a little impromptu. I know it's probably, I'll try to get you some B-roll footage in here, but it's a little bit hard to maybe convey over camera, I guess. It's practice. Just slowly but surely take your time, and you know, it works great if you just get a couple of sheets of leather and just kind of glue them together, stitch them together, and then you can practice that way. That's actually what I started to do. I'm not going to take credit for this stitch. My buddy Tanner at Claridge Leather, he's the one that actually, he didn't purposely steer me onto it, but I saw some of his work, and I was so adamant about trying to do something like that. I was just like, you know, I got to do that. I have to do it. That and the fact that Tanner had no time to make a sheath for me at the time. I wanted him to make a sheath so I can do a special build. And it had some meaning and everything, but I didn't tell Tanner about that because I didn't want to give him any guilt speech or anything, making him think I was making up some kind of story. So I had to basically just kind of teach myself how to do this. And honestly, out of all the things that I've learned to do on my own, this stitch is probably by far one of the easiest things I've ever had to learn how to do. Yeah, I had, you know, Jeff, my mentor, he's taught me quite a bit, and he's a great sounding board. But a lot of this, I've just had to go about and trial by error, you know, just jump in, get your feet wet, and try again. You'll fail many times, but it's that one success that you'll have. You'll just be like, ah, yes, and it'll all just lock in, and that's what this stitch was to me. So, hey, do appreciate it, gang. Again, thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Keep me from the bottom of the YouTube bucket. Thank you again for all the support, both over here on Instagram and everything else. So, till the next video, gang, you take it easy. Have a good one.